Hey, good morning, guys. It is Christian Martinez with Voyager Nation Super Trucker Podcast. Do check out our channel. What we do here, guys, is actually gather information across our multimedia platforms, and we address them on the live. So today is about warranty. Just as a reminder, guys out there, what happens is a lot of guys calling in and asking the questions: Are these first-time owner operators? And so as they're buying the truck, obviously, when you were there, and guys, one thing to consider is: should you buy that warranty? Is that warranty the thing to do? That's the $1 million question. Is that a good investment? Is it a bad investment? Well, it works out a little bit different for everybody. So what we can do is we actually have an individual considering that option. I'm not saying that they're all bad, and I'm not saying that they're all going to be good. I know that could be confusing, and that is vague in general, but you just have to see that. Number one, let's just kind of go down the line items of what we got here to unpack whether it's worth it for you or not. Ultimately, guys, remember, it is going to be your choice. So everybody's a little bit different. But in my years of doing this, over 20 years in a game, I have not seen a warranty really do what it's supposed to do. Just saying, that's been my experience. Not necessarily is it that everybody experiences that. So let's just kind of break this down, right? So that extended warranty, uh, they're going to roll that into the financing, right? So just remember, like, that piece of it is an upsell from a dealership. So you have to know that by now. So my guy that's actually looking at it is considering it. Once you get to that financing, now we start talking about that warranty, and now it's an upsell. So there's a couple of things that you have to consider here. What you're really doing is you're betting that you're going to have a repair, hopefully, to offset the cost, right? So the repair that you're going to have is going to be greater than the warranty that you're going to be paying over the years of financing that has interest and all of that. So, for many people, I do believe what I do see that is successful is, rather than buying that warranty, let's just say you got a warranty of 8. It could range, guys. It's going to be anywhere from 8 to 16,000. So depending on what you're buying, depending on what it's covering, is it just major components? Is it some bake-in maintenance into that? It just depends on what you're searching for. But can you save your way? Rather than paying that out and nothing happens, can you save that money? And do you have that discipline to just create that maintenance fund to let it stack up? And now, you're almost paying yourself back. You're going to have the liquid, right? So I think a lot of it is going to be in selecting of the truck. Now, nobody has that crystal ball, of course. But what it is, what you can do is a lot of things. We talk about the low mileage. Don't buy that million mile truck. Think about, really investing some time into your search, into buying those trucks that are low on mileage, that still have factory warranty on the major components. Right now, you have a little bit of lifespan on that. And let's say you can cover it, there's still another 2 years on that bad boy. So once you have that, in those 2 years, you're already covered, and you're going to get to see, get to know this truck, what type of maintenance it was going through, what kind of issues are you having, what kind of issues are you resolving? Are they minor? Are they major? Are they consistent? Are they always happening? I think it's that. I think if you put a lot of footwork, or a lot of work into selecting the proper truck, for example, as we were talking to this individual, because he's so gung-ho about this warranty, there's a lot of things that can happen. So, there are dealerships, like, again, not saying you use these guys, but the Lone Mountain people, they actually bake in the warranty into the payment, and it's, $13.95 a month. So what happens there is, that's so reasonable, that some of their trucks are going to have that. Now, it's not all of them; it's just certain specific ones. And I also think it's the warranty 2-year bumper to bumper. Now, that's on the aftercare, that's on the major components and all of that. So something like that, if it's baked into it, that's one thing. They're standing behind their product. But another thing is for you to go ahead and get one. And usually they're going to say, hey, man, you got a lot of high mileage on this truck. Anything above 500, 600,000 miles, you should be getting this warranty. Well, I would say right now, consider that, because you can probably still buy something with a lot less miles. You just got to look for it, a little bit more patience, but buying the thing with less miles, let's say the truck is a little bit more money, but it's still going to offset the cost of that that warranty that you're trying to buy, right? It's just numbers at that game. You want to make sure that you're successful, so you want to consider the true cost of that maintenance, the maintenance program that you're about to buy, so that warranty. What are you going to end up paying at the end of it all, like with interest and everything? How much is that bad boy really going to cost you? And now, can you pay yourself that money? Because it's going to be leaving your account monthly anyway, right? So pay yourself that amount of money. You can be more aggressive if you wish. And now you're going to stack up your chips. And while you're stacking up that money, I believe that is a better solution for yourself, because you're going to have versatility. Although it does give you a little sense of relief, but you got to read the fine print, my people. I have seen, in my days, that the truck's in the dealer. One of the things you got to look out for is that you have to take it to a certain dealer. So you cannot do these repairs just anywhere. It's only and their selected choices. So now you have to stay within that network. That could be problematic, both operationally, depending where you broke down. So again, one limit, that's a limit, as opposed to you having the cash. You could have actually started that bad boy up, fixed it wherever you had to fix it to get you going. Sometimes I've seen people could do just kind of a band-aid on it just to get home, not lose money, finish the round robin for that week, and then address it accordingly with their mechanic. They're a mechanic that knows the truck. They're a mechanic that's been servicing the truck. So your options are always going to be more, if you have cash. You're not going to be limited by the actual, warranty company on doing so. Things to also consider. I have seen where warranties tie you up. And what I mean by that is, like, let's say you're ordering just a part, right? Dealers got to order the part. They got to go through the channels of the warranty. And that part could be sitting on the shelf, but because it's not going through their channels of the warranty, it's actually ending up to take, what could have took a day to fix and get you back out on the road. You are now waiting about a week and a half to 2 weeks just to get back on the road. Again, you kind of feel good that it's paid for, and you may or may not even have a deductible. So imagine that you did all that. So you have to save up for a deductible anyway. Now you have to account for some downtime. And I'm not saying that all warranties are bad, but I am saying, man, I'd rather see somebody save their money. Just create a separate account, take that discipline to save it, hurry up and get it there. Have a dedicated credit card to that, just for that. I think you're going to be in a much better place than signing up for these warranties that do have that fine print. So do pay attention. Have they worked before? Yes, but again, guys, with your downtime, just like I explained, if it's going to be about the parts, ordering that, you got to also see that while you're waiting for those parts to come in, you're actually losing revenue for that week. So because you're not running, obviously there's lost revenue on that truck. All the bills are still coming and everything is still in motion, except for you being on the road. And then that's just kind of an added blow to your it's a black eye right on your business. So guys, do pay attention to that. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, help get this bad boy in front of the right people, for my people who are out there looking. Now again, I am not saying that all warranties are bad or they're not good and you should never do that. It's going to be up to you whether you do it or don't. What we do here is we're just sharing experiences. We're just sharing the content of what our guys have been through, where they have wasted money, where they have learned a lesson. I've even seen where some of the warranties, a guy goes in and yes, this line item was to be covered, no big deal. However, because he did not carry a good maintenance record on his truck, they were actually trying not to pay it because they were saying it was lack of maintenance. So lack of preventive maintenance on his truck is what ultimately led to this damage. And so because of that negligence, now they didn't want to pay. So again, like, here we go. They make their money by not paying. Like that's really what you got to protect yourself against, guys. So again, read the reviews, do everything you have to do. Again, there are some deals that are out there that are actually, warranties are baked into it. We actually have an individual who's got multiple trucks with us. He's got a few drivers. He's got a sweet deal with Penske, and all that maintenance, everything is just baked into there. So that's his choice. That's the way he'd rather do it. Is he paying probably a little bit more than your average guy? Probably, but he's in a different area. He's in a different scenario. He's in a different in a different type of his responsibility is a little bit different. So what he's actually doing is providing his fleet drivers this sense of reliability, because anything happens, they just got to find any Penske, roll in, and everything is already taken care of, right? So he's got no time to waste to look, have a truck down for a week because the warranty is going to step up, or 2 weeks or whatnot. We all know, for all of us who've been in this industry for more than 6 months, already know you're going to lose a driver because of something like that. So there is an extreme value to him because of how he's set up. He's not a one-man show. He's got multiple trucks. And so for him, it's a little bit different. He prioritizes a little bit different. So you just have to look at your business plan and pretty much decide which one of these is going to be most cost effective to you. Remember, trucking is a penny business. So I say, if you self-insure yourself, I think that's the best way to go on something like this. Let me know in the comments, what you guys think? Is a warranty the way to do it? Or do you believe in self-insuring yourself on this, paying yourself, having that discipline? And if you didn't need it, you got a chunk of change that now your business could do something different with. If it's that, you get to a certain point that you're very comfortable beyond that $15,000 mark, and now because you're disciplined, you grew it to 20 or something like that. Can you take a little bit of that and now buy your own trailer? That could be money to re-up to a newer truck. You're gonna have options. My point being, it's not lost money. Once you buy these warranties and you financed it, if you never used it, man, that's money that's gone. So in my opinion, I would say self-insure it. Again, I'm a bit, maybe just a little bit more of a risk taker. And again, but with the caveat, I would say you have to be looking, low mile truck. I would be looking for something that's got plenty of meat on it. Not looking to buy something, 500,000-600,000 miles. I wouldn't do that. I would actually, look at something that's going to be under 300,000 if I can find it. Definitely under 4, not 1 mile after 4, not after 499 for sure. So selecting that in the front is going to be a major part of that. We do have a comment here. I still wouldn't buy extended warranty. Here you go. Another individual that would not buy that either. But I would do a lot more in the sourcing and selecting. I would definitely consider that. I would rather spend more money on something with lesser miles to get a better truck, right? So if the warranty is going to cost me an extra $300 a month, I would allocate that resource and be willing to pay an extra $300 a month, but for a better lower mile truck. That's what I would do. That's where I would reallocate that money. Or at the very least, you got to be able to take that and slam that shit right into a maintenance fund and start compounding that, so that at the end of the day, you have cash in order to resolve some problems. Because I have seen it, guys. I have seen, $7,000, $8,000, $12,000, $14,000 breakdowns put people out of business, right? So let's take a look at that. And then the warranty couldn't save them. Sometimes guys like to keep a truck that maybe don't even qualify for that warranty, right? So let's just take, based on those numbers, let's just take an average breakdown of $9,000 divided by 52. Boom, that's $173 you should be putting away every single week. And that can get you into a very sweet spot where nothing touches you, basically. You got options. That's enough to take that old truck, trade it in with some money on top. That's enough to make those repairs. So just considering that, but you're self-insuring yourself. But you have to be that's the discipline. You got to do something after you don't buy the warranty. You can't just not buy it and hope for the best. Make sure you got that maintenance fund available. If not, a credit card with 10 grand on it will do the trick. There you go. I'd love to see another day. Have a comment. Just so everyone is on the same page, if you diagnose your truck in a TA, don't be surprised that every little thing requires an overhaul. Learn your truck, and that's for sure. There's a lot of guys out there that it's I'm not saying everybody has to be a diesel mechanic, never that. But what I have been seeing is a trend coming over the years, is that a lot of guys don't have all of this. As a matter of fact, it even starts with a lot of guys don't drive manual anymore, right? Because when guys are going to school, they're teaching them an automatic, and I get it, it's easier. These schools are gaining market share, and you can get people who are going to apply that probably wouldn't have before because they're intimidated and all that good stuff. So I understand, but what happens is as you go and you go and you go, a lot of my guys even see guys at a truck stop that they don't have any tools in their trucks. They don't have the airline hose just to reinflate tires. They're very dependent on others and or systems in order to get things resolved. I mean, you got one guy. I got guys on my fleet that could change a tire, mount, dismount on the side of the road, and I got guys that cannot. So you just got to know who you are as well. And I think by knowing who you are, it helps you develop your plan on what you're going to be doing, whether you should be putting more money away because you know that you need other people to do that for you, as opposed to a lot of our guys who know how to get that done. They could be a little bit more conservative because they get the work done. They're saving tons and tons and tons of money on what's out there. They're not going to the TAs for the support. I got some of my guys who can change their own turbo. I got guys, and guys who cannot. So it just depends on who you are. You have to be honest with yourself. So, Mr. First Time Owner Operator, do pay attention to that comment. Learn your truck. You have to learn that truck as quick as possible, and obviously you can only do that by being on the road. So make sure you're hitting the road and being successful, and that's where we come in. That's where we step up. So for a fast track approval process and getting on the road as quick as possible so that you get cash flow going to your business, 863-342-5171. All right. We also have a comment here. Warranty is not right for everyone, but at the very least, you should have a roadside assistance membership. Everyone needs a safeguard in this business. So here we go. Sometimes you can go, that roadside assistance, whether it's the tow package, I've seen that built into the insurance. You can go that route. There are alternatives that you can do, for sure. You can do something. But again, it's all about planning accordingly, and it's knowing who you are and what you're capable of and what you're not capable of. I've seen some of my guys that broke down way out of state. I'm talking over 1,000 miles away, have the resources and whatever to tow their trucks back and all and so forth, without making and brought back their trucks and so forth. So everybody has different resources. Everybody has different capacities. So I think that's where you're going to also start. So two things actually. So you're going to start with ensuring that you take time, be patient, select the right truck. And that means low mileage, check on those engine hours as well. I know Mike talks about that all the time. So you got to pay attention to that. And that's where that journey is starting, right? Don't drink Kool-Aid and buy those million milers, man. And those not going to end well. Do not buy a project truck. That is not going to end well. It's just, you're buying somebody's problem. And for those who are selling the project trucks, my bad, didn't mean to blow up your spot. I'm just saying, guys, don't fall victim to that. I've seen a lot of guys fail. I wouldn't want to see anybody else get hurt. So do pay attention to that. And then second, know your capabilities. Know what you're capable of. Know what you're not capable of. As far as, are you mechanically inclined? Are you not mechanically inclined? I think this is what starts changing time after time after time after time. I was actually talking to an individual and talking about the TA. This individual spent some time working there, and They were like, you would be surprised that some people walk in and they're just like, can you come check my tires? And they're like, what's wrong? They're like, I don't know, something's wrong, something doesn't feel right, but they actually don't know how to check their tire. And you know, it's like, there's no air in your tire, it's almost off the rim. Oh, okay. So, guys, there are people out there that just don't know. They don't even know how to do a proper pre-trip. So we're not here to bash that. We're just saying, if you're a first-time owner operator buying your first truck, don't do it that way. You're going to lose way too much money. You have to learn your truck. You have to have some kind of, mechanically inclined intuition as to what may or may not be wrong, because responsibilities are going to start to change, because your responsibilities are different, because now you paid a bill. It is your truck. You are a business owner. You're as Even though you're making more money, yes, you are also accountable and responsible for other things that maybe in the past you were not. So you have to weigh that into the factor, right? That's part of determining becoming that first time owner operator. So you definitely need a safeguard in business. Uh, just like my man said, and that safeguard is linking up with the right carrier. That's what Voyager does best. So what we do here is the following, guys. So we're here to partner up with you. We're here to educate on the dispatch side, how to run that truck, how to move, what's the best, what are the best areas, what are the best paying markets. That is what these guys know how to do. You got dispatchers with years and years and years of experience in this game called trucking, especially the spot freight, which now they built those rapports, those relationships that are not one-sided, never losing sight of the most important part of who the customer is, and that is the owner operator. It's about maximizing the gross revenue on your truck when you're out there. So, guys, remember, first time owner out, guys, listen, just because you disappear, it does not mean you make money. If you're making rookie mistakes, if your dispatcher is making the rookie mistakes, I should say, then you're out there wasting time. So you want to link up with people that have been in the game a long time, white hat carriers that do it right and are in it for the long run. That's the most important part. So do give us a call, 863-342-5171. We're on standby. Looking forward to the phone calls so we can explain to you in details how we make this happen. So again, first time owner operator, if you're kind of juggling that first truck right now, I've had recent phone calls with people with LRM and Low Mountain, and even a guy in Select Trucks, and they got tons of questions as to what the next move is. A little bit complicated. Well, we got the answers for you. So if you're in the midst of the process and it just got a little dicey right now, and you're kind of confused as what you have to get and not get, and what the carrier's supposed to do and what you're supposed to do, give us a call so we can clarify that up for you. 863-342-5171. We'll clear it up, and you'll actually probably be on a load by Monday. Obviously next Monday, but that's how fast we can move and get you on the road, because that's what you need, is that sense of urgency from the carrier, from multi points, right? Not only from the recruiting standpoint, but operationally, you need people to push you in order to make that money. And why is that a healthy environment for you? Because if you have a dispatcher who is complacent, they're not only complacent with you, they're complacent with who they're negotiating the rates with for you. And then that's your major problem, because what's going to happen is that's going to translate into your cash flow, into your gross revenue. And that's why you need that individual that has the entrepreneurial spirit, that has the power of gab, that has the tenacity to say no and can say no without emotionally, without crying. Because what's going to happen is a dispatcher should challenge you a little bit. I'm not saying to a degree where it's unproductive and nothing like that, but you don't want a yes sir. You want somebody that can educated in the business, that can challenge you to be better. So pay attention to that, guys. 863-342-5171. Give us a call. If you have any questions about this warranty stuff, about how my guys have done it, and you need a little bit more details, I would encourage you to stop by the office, 3180 Mulford Road in Mulberry. We sit down, I'll print up sample settlements so you have an idea. I can show you some of my guys, what they do, the guys that do use the escrow, the maintenance escrow account in their favor, so that what they're actually doing is just self-insuring themselves so that they always have enough money for those breakdowns. And then this whole warranty thing is never an issue, but they do take care of the truck, the preventive maintenance. Mike talks about it all the time. And when a guy comes home on his 34, they drop it off to the mechanic. He does a nice little overlook on it. Says, hey, this might go, this might go. So there are actions that come with that. It's not just, just parking the truck and that's it, and just saving for maintenance. No, you gotta prevent that stuff from happening. So if you're not mechanically inclined, you are the individual that's going to be spending a little bit more, rather than the other guys who could do the turbo, who could do the brakes, who could do, who have who have that skill set to do that kind of stuff. You're going to be spending a little bit more. And some of the guys just don't want to do it. They rather pay for it than, even though they have the knowledge to do it, they just don't want to be up under the truck on some home time, getting rid of, doing just that. So everybody's a little bit different. Guys, we're here to share that information, put that in front of everyone. Got a comment here. Hey, had my truck from Lone Mountain, and in a month, the transmission went out. The clutch, new transmission, covered under the warranty. So here we go. Perfect example. And then that is actually baked into the payment, right? I know we're a little bit on the delay. So for my people, I got someone on YouTube, and the individual actually says he has a truck through Lone Mountain, and in a month, the transmission went out and all of that. And again, in that situation, it's baked into the payment. I think that's a win. I think it would be silly for anybody to say, hey, take that off. It's already baked in there with a nice agreed upon payment. And here you go. So that's a good one. If I may ask, sir, how many miles were on that truck? Let's see if we can get the answer to how many miles were on that truck, so that we can share that with everyone, because that's one of the things that we were talking about, trying to keep it a low mileage. And again, and here we go. So he did answer. He's got 329,000 miles on that truck. So that goes to say anything can happen at any time. So here we go. This is a situation where his warranty stepped up, and it actually kicked some ass, and it took care of him. So absolutely, that's a positive win. And again, that's why we've actually been talking about these like Lone Mountain projects, because you can't really beat that. I mean, they bake that into the cake, into the payment on the monthly basis. And then not just that, the monthly payment is very reasonable, under $2,000. I'm not trying to put your business out there, my man, but I bet it's under $2,000. Yes, no. So, it's kind of, they take a lot of the guesswork out of it, because what I really think is like they're out there. They've been doing this a long time. Even when it comes to getting you approved, and their underwriters and their financing, they're looking at that as far as once they're getting you approved, they want you guys to be successful. So they understand what it takes for somebody to be successful, because they don't want to actually repossess this truck. That's not what they're in it for. So that's why we actually like them. My hat goes off to them. So I'm glad that it worked out for someone right here. And here we go. So he actually said his payment is $1,695. That's it. 2-year full warranty. Here we go, guys. And that's on the aftercare probably as well. So here we go. Klein, how long did that take? Actually, somebody's asking that. How long did the whole process take? So here we go. So as we're finding out how long that process took, these are some examples of what can happen. Now, this is not an extended 2 days. So here you go. So it took them 2 days to get that bad boy fixed. I always like to see a win, man. Hell yeah, that's what's up. So there you go. That one went in there. So you see many ways to look at this. I can see somebody just watching the video saying, "Hold up, man! In the beginning, we said don't buy it, maybe." But then you go. It's just taking a. All right, we do have a comment that says, I think it's also very important to know how to navigate the warranty process. Yes, yes, yes. That in itself is another and I think that comes down with dealing with insurance, man. I think that's a whole other video. Like everybody thinks that an insurance or a warranty just wants to pay. No, they're gonna want to do their research. I guess maybe sometimes when something is clean cut and dry, it's easier. But again, like these claims, navigating through it, people dragging their feet, waiting for this, waiting for that, can slow down the process, which means you're stuck on the road even more so. So to continue with the comments, just to keep you guys in the loop, because I know there's first time owner operators dying to know, how this guy did it, and can you repeat that formula to be successful? With Low Mine, you have a rep that sends all the info to the shop. So here you go. Because they do that, look at that. You got a whole support system to do that. Was that your sales rep that did that, or is there somebody different? Or you always deal with the guy that sold you the truck? So, but here you go, full service, one-stop shop. Not sure, guys, please put it in the comments. Does LRM do it the same way? Does Pedigree do it that way? Anybody out there who can share information for others who are thinking about jumping into this, please do so. Put that up on the chat so that we can get this out there. So we can also do. So we have a comment. Pretty good. I wonder what's up with that Peterbilt. Now, so here's what you have to look at, right? Truck selection. What Klein is probably talking about, that is still a manufacturing warranty for 2 years because of the low mileage on his. It also has the warranty from the manufacturer. Now, the Peterbilt probably didn't have that. So there's a Peterbilt, same situation, but but he's still down and been down for a long time, months. And even if what I believe is those Peterbilts do not come with a warranty. Let me jump on their inventory real quick and let me see what's up. So remember, the warranties that these Low Mountain offer, they only offer it to certain trucks, not all of them. So again, when selecting, although somebody may want a certain truck, consider that. Why wouldn't the warranty throw anything, why wouldn't it be offered on that truck? Is something to consider about. And I'm actually on their website, so bear with me, my people. I got internationals. They got some KWs, international, Volvos, international. They don't even have Peterbilts on there. But if I am not mistaken, the story that Mike is talking about, there is no warranty under that truck. So it's not a blanket. It's not a blanket warranty for all the trucks that come on their fleet. It's only for the selected. It's only for some of them. And then that's why selecting is so important with Low Mountain. I think if I'm not mistaken, Klein, what do you got? International LT. I bet your coffee. That's what he got. So we'll find out. So guys, even though as you're selecting, again, guys that are out there, like, here you go, that 2 year. Okay. So yep. So Klein does have that international, but check it out. Somebody that's gun ho on something different on that KW or the Peterbilt, and then there's no warranty, but it's a Peterbilt, and then you run into some problems. So, Mike, all the time, guys shit on internationals all the time, but it's not that it's not the Max Force engine. He probably has the Cummings. But paying attention to all of those things, sometimes look at that as a business. My man keeps running. That's what it's about. It's not so much, you're not there to look pretty and all of that. Like it's making a business decision to keep your business flowing, to keep the cash flow coming in. And he in particularly has no idle system to save on the fuel. So here we go. So that is one thing. I don't think any of those bad boys there come with APUs. So anybody out there looking for that, I don't think that they have those on any of their trucks. But again, I don't know if that's something you can install later. I know that's a tall bill. I don't know, what is it, like 9-10 grand for something like to do that? I know people doing stuff electric now and all of that, but still may not be in a bad spot. So okay. All right. So that Peterbilt had the 90-day. Yeah. So here you go. That's one thing to consider. You know, which is your bang for your buck. Everybody does it a little bit different. Um, uh, yeah, you could probably find a way to finance that APU, and even that, guys, start stacking your maintenance. And everything is going well. Everything is going well. I mean, even if Klein does have that warranty, I would still recommend my man to stack up his maintenance. Just stack it up. Pay yourself, self-insure that bad boy. And then you get to a point where maybe, yeah, instead of financing the whole thing on an APU, you drop half of it, and here you go, and you're financing the other half and keeping that cost under control. So there are many options once you have that liquid cash. I still want to say, even though I'm happy, client had a really good experience here where his warranty stepped up, and in 2 days they fixed transmission and clutch and got him going. Super excited for him. Check out that product, Lone Mountain. Give us a call, 863-342-5171. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we can show you how to get in contact with them. We've got a point of contact over there, Josue. We'll get you guys communicating. But even though I'm excited about this, I still think that you should put away some maintenance reserve, and discipline in that, because once that warranty goes away, you are already ahead of it, and that bad boy is already established. It's there, it's ready. You don't have to then start saving for it later. You've grown the discipline to put it away, and it's always there. So maybe you don't have to be as aggressive right now, because you have that warranty. But you can also, or you can choose to. So, but I do want to say, have access to that warranty. It's definitely important. All right, so he does 5%. That's very aggressive. So hey, here we go, man. When a guy does it right, here it is, guys. You can make money. You can be successful. You just have to be patient. You have to make the right choices, guys. That's what this is all about. And we got plenty of people who are being successful. You just have to make the right choices. Please give us a call at 863-342-5171. We'd love to speak to you, especially if you are about to sign on the dotted line. We're not going to talk you out of that. It has nothing to do with that, my people. It has everything to do with a fresh pair of eyes on your situation. You may see it from a different point of view. It may be for the better, like, hell yeah, that's a good deal. Or it may be like, hey, before you sign, think of this and this. I've seen people get hurt. I don't want you to get hurt. The more you know as an owner operator, the more options you have in front of you, the better decisions you're going to be making. And what best to get advice from people who are making the right choices, like my man right here, Klein. So don't forget, guys, 863-342-5171. Everything from warranties to what truck to pick to how many miles to how should I run operationally and what type of dispatcher should I be looking for, and should I have my own plates or run under someone's plates? What liabilities can I shift off of me? We're here to address all those questions. Everything you need to know under one roof, guys. All you got to do is stop by 3180 Mulford Road in Mulberry, or give us a call, 863-342-5171. So for my guys, Thursday's Turkey Day. So any company driver who's out there thinking about buying that first truck, and you're probably home for the holiday, hey, give us that call, man. This is that perfect time to stop by, make that investment. If you're here on some home time, swing by, get to know us, see what we're all about, and you just might be make the right choices, and you might be on the way to buying your very first truck. All right, my people. So that is my show for today. I want to thank everybody for participating. So thank you for that. Be safe, drive safe, and again, smash that like button. It helps the algorithm get the content in front of the right people. And I will see you guys tomorrow. So that's the phone ringing. Got to get to my day job. Stay blessed, drive safe, keep earning, my people. All right, be good.